Hey guys, what's up? For those of you who are new here, my name's Denali, and today we're gonna do things a little bit differently. I'm going to do a sit down video with you guys and talk through what to look for in apartments when you're trying to move to New York City and know nothing about it. So first of all, I'm in my apartment that I just moved to, I guess almost 2 months ago now, but I am sitting on the floor currently because my couch has still not come, and I'm sad about it. I have not gone about buying other furniture because I'm waiting for that piece to come in because it's kind of the center point of my apartment and I want everything else to kind of revolve around my couch. So if you are moving right now, definitely, like, if you want a couch and stuff, look for that stuff early on. I know you're not gonna know dimensions and things, but have your eye out and like place that order right away. A lot of things are back ordered and it's just taking forever. So unless you're trying to do like Facebook Marketplace, which is a great thing to do if you just move and things are super affordable and it's just easier, I feel like, to navigate in this city. Like IKEA, a lot of their stuff is on like back order as well, like you never know when it's gonna come in. So definitely a lot harder to come by furniture right now, so just be aware of that if you are moving soon, and maybe like steal some furniture from friends and family if you can do that. But anyway, I'm gonna talk you guys through some things about what to look for in apartments after my journey of apartment hunting in New York City, and things that like I wish I'd paid closer attention to while I was searching, and also like things that I definitely will be doing again the next time I go about this process. And I'm locked into a 2-year lease, so I have a while left since it's only been 2 months. But I have a list here for you guys, and the first thing is definitely water pressure. That sounds really dumb, but you guys, like, if you don't have a dishwasher or anything and you're gonna need to be hand washing dishes and stuff, definitely pay attention and turn on all of the faucets. Like, that sounds really stupid during like your first tour or walkthrough of an apartment. In New York, things go fast and you never know, like you could be signing onto something like later that night. So you want to make sure that you've really taken a deep dive at everything that is in the apartment. So definitely do open faucets, flush the toilet, open the shower, and just see like how much water pressure comes out, because these things, you know, as much as you might be like, oh, I don't really care, sometimes you do, and you don't realize until having good water pressure is gone that it can be annoying. So the sinks, the toilet, and definitely the shower I would run just to see. I feel like the shower sometimes is like a little bit lacking in New York. I got lucky and my shower has really nice water pressure, but I know friends that aren't so lucky, so check on that. The next thing is air conditioning. If you guys haven't lived in Manhattan or anywhere in the city, in Brooklyn before, air conditioning is like never to be found. You are really lucky in New York if you have central air. I feel like some landlords nowadays are installing like those units that kind of stick to the wall and are up there and like circulate, so they're not window units, but they are ones that live installed, and I do love those, and those tend to be the best with cooling, I feel like. I am lucky and I do have central air. The thing is, you probably will have to get a window unit if you live in the city. It gets hot in little boxy apartments in New York. So definitely ask or inquire about the air conditioning situation. Ask if they provide window units or whether you'll have to get them, and definitely something to negotiate and look into, and like be aware that that might be a cost you have to spend, or you can just like live with a fan and bear the dreaded heat. So that's just something to keep in mind. And the next thing is grocery stores. So for me, a huge part of picking of this location for where I live right now was the fact that a grocery store, Trader Joe's specifically, was 2 blocks away. So it's literally a 5-minute walk for me to get to the grocery store. And I know that could be a thing that you'd want to sacrifice, but for me, I'm so lazy. I will Postmates, I will Uber Eats if I can't just get to the grocery store within a hop, skip, or jump. So I know myself in the winter, if it's raining, those are definitely all things to make me say no to the grocery store. So having it close by is also helpful if I want to do like bigger grocery hauls, so I don't have to be walking back and forth multiple times. I can like bear the weight for one like big trip because it's pretty close. So definitely recommend just like kind of keeping an eye out for like what might be close to you, whether it be like a Key Foods or a Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's are kind of hard to be near. There's only so many in the city, but I know it is like one of the cheaper options. But just being aware of like if there is a convenience store or grocery store near you is definitely helpful for like those days where you are super lazy, and if you want to be a little bit more cost effective with spending on food. If you don't care about that type of thing, then skip this as something to be mindful of. The next thing is Subway. It kind of goes hand in hand with grocery stores, and the fact that, you know, it can be hard to get places. I know I was definitely looking at places in the East Village. It is one of the destinations that's kind of not super close to Subways, or a lot of them. If you're close to the L, great, because you can just take that or walk to 14th Union Square, and that has a bunch of lines. You can get a lot of places. But if you live on the bottom half of the like LES, you really only have like the 2nd Ave station, and that is like an F train, I think, and something else. And there's only so many places you can get to from there, so you will definitely be transferring a bunch of places. The location I live in literally is close to probably every subway line. I'm within like 10 minutes of a walk from, as the farthest point, from a subway that could get me somewhere. So I love it. Like the closest one is 5 minutes away, and that gets me into Manhattan for the most part, regardless of what I'm doing. But yeah, just be mindful of that. It's definitely something that gets annoying. Work from home and everything, might not be going as many places, it might not matter as much, but as things do open up and people are going back into offices and stuff and you have a commute, it's definitely something to think about and be mindful of. And just like if you are young and you want to be going out, you don't want to be splurging on Ubers all the time, having a Subway like nearby to get to places might be more tempting when you are like going out and tired at the end of the night, coming back, to kind of jump in a Subway as opposed to spend like 50 bucks on an Uber or however much it is with all these crazy surge prices. So just be aware of that. The next thing is laundry. Laundry is at least essential to me. I know a lot of apartments do not have in-unit laundry, and a lot of apartments don't even have in-building laundry. So I don't know about you guys, but I love my clothes to death. I also hate doing laundry, so the thought of having to like drag and schlep all of my stuff to a laundromat really just bothers me, and I feel like it takes me so much time because I do so many loads, because I separate out all my stuff, and there's so many things I hang dry, just all of these things that make me really need my laundry to be in my space. So I picked a building and I picked an apartment with in-unit laundry, and might be a hot take, I would rather have laundry in my apartment than I would a dishwasher. Some people might feel the opposite. I totally get it, but I don't know, something about just being able to like wash my clothes in my own washer and dryer and like have it right here, and like can conveniently be doing other things while I'm doing my laundry, because it saves a ton of time for me, because laundry takes about half a day for me to do. Really makes a difference. So just be mindful of that. If you have it in the building, great. I feel like that's also a blessing in New York City, you know, having that in your laundry. If that's something specific that you want, definitely when you are searching for places, put that in. If you're using like Street Easy, put that in as a requirement. It will narrow your search down a lot, but I feel like it is worth it. That's just me. With that, one of the other things is a dishwasher. So be mindful of that. If you hate doing dishes and you really need a dishwasher, go for that. I feel like this is less common nowadays because people do love laundry and having a washer and dryer. So a lot of the times when builders are redoing or renovating apartments in the city, they've been kind of taking that dishwasher slot and putting in one of those multi-function washers and dryers in the kitchen. So it's like a washer and dryer in one. They like stick it in the kitchen because all the electrical like units are right there. So that's just a thing that I feel like is more common. So it's rare to have like both washer and dryer and a dishwasher in one unit. I'm very lucky, and I do, and I love both things. But I will say I definitely use or get more use out of like the washer and dryer than I do a dishwasher. And I cook a lot too, as you guys know, so I don't know, it's just totally something that I prefer. Just be mindful of that, like whether your unit has a dishwasher or not can be something that is make or break for you, and something that isn't all that common in the city. It's part of New York City life. What can I say? The next three things are specific to those who are looking to kind of move into a high-rise / luxury type building that might have some extra amenities and stuff that you can use. So the first thing out of that would be amenity hours and reservations. Definitely something to inquire about. So I think due to COVID, a lot of people have been kind of limiting their capacity with their amenities, whether it be like a pool, whether it be a gym and stuff. Maybe you have to make reservations, maybe you have to get like a temperature check before you go in and sign a waiver, that type of thing. Or maybe like you can't bring guests to any of the above, even though you could in the past. I know in my building specifically, I have to make reservations for the gym, and honestly it's not too bad now, and it's open normal hours again. It wasn't for a little bit, but this is definitely something to ask about. I feel like if you're the type of person that really wants a gym where you can just kind of not block off a chunk of time of day and just decide in the moment and just go, if that's kind of like how you operate in your schedule, knowing that, you know, you'd have to like pre-reserve something like that completely defeats the purpose of you even having amenities in your building. So definitely ask about that. Ask if you can go all the time, if your key will get you in, that type of thing. Whether you do have to make a reservation or not, whether there's like a capacity. For right now, I think with my building, they're gonna get rid of this stuff within the next year or two, but for right now, that's just how it is, and honestly, I do like it and appreciate it. The next thing is blinds. If you live in a building like this, definitely check them. So I will say the only thing that I had to kind of harp on about my apartment that management ended up being really nice about and is coming to replace them is the blinds. So there's a little child, I think, who lived in this unit before me, and she, I think, went to town with drawing all over my white like drop down blinds. So there are just marks kind of all over them, and I took pictures and I sent it over to management, and they were super kind to say that they didn't check them either before giving me the apartment, so that they are going to come replace them. But definitely something to be mindful of. Like, I didn't even think when I toured this place to like open them and drop them down and see if that would even be something that could, I don't know, be damaged, or I kind of felt like management would do it before I even got here. So just things to like double check. And the last thing being floors in this type of apartment. I was super quick to move, and I really rushed the whole process because I was starting a new job and wanted to be in here before like my first day. But if you do have a little bit of time, and if you are paying and taking the time to move into a building like this, I highly suggest, if the floors do have like scratches on them or aren't up to par, ask about replacing them. Usually it is a courtesy for a new tenant in this type of building where they, if you don't like the floor, if there's any little imperfections here and there, they'll just go ahead and replace the whole floors for you. So I didn't know that before moving. My leasing agent told me as I was doing my walkthrough right before lease signing. So I was like, oh, and she was like, yeah, at this point, you're moving in a few days, we don't have time to do it. So definitely inquire about that, inquire about painting. That's kind of complimentary no matter what. I feel like wherever you move, but just be mindful about these things, and if there are little imperfections here or there, to definitely ask if they're going to be touched up before you move in, and take pictures and all of that jazz. And the last thing is a lockout fee. Now, I don't really know, I have to ask my friends about lockout fees, some of my friends who live in walk-ups, but I'm assuming that it really depends on the landlord about whether you lose your keys or something, whether it's gonna cost you money for them to come open the door or get you a new set. I feel like it's typical that they would charge in New York. It seems like a very New York thing to do. I learned the hard way by getting locked out of my apartment that my building does have a hefty lockout fee. It is a good $25 if I do get locked out. So we'll never be misplacing my key again or forgetting it inside. So that one hurt. But yeah, definitely inquire about that. I feel like no matter where you live and before you move in, or like email your landlord about it and definitely ask. Those are the 10 things that I have to say about moving into New York City apartments. I hope this was helpful. I will have all 10 things listed here that I talked about, but yeah, if you are moving to the city, feel free to DM me and reach out if you have any questions, or leave comments down below. And if there's anything else about moving to New York that you want to hear about or learn about, definitely leave that in the comments down below as well, and I can address them in a different video. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I love you all. See you next time.